Hello Aries friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Aries April 2023 Astrology Horoscope forecast. This is for you if Aries is your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign like me, or any other placement of Aries that you have. What we're going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you are a very late degree Aries friend, so birthdays like April 15th through the rest of the sign, or 23 degree or so Aries placement through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Taurus report because your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. So wow, where do I even start with the power of this month for Aries? Well, let's first just mention some highlights of what we're going to get deeper into. New eclipse cycle starting, that's going to be from now through 2025 for Aries and Libra, targeting us, right? So time for radical change. Major goodbyes, major hellos, closing of chapters, beginning of new brilliant experiences. And we launch it all with a new moon, black moon, solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees on April 19th or 20th, depending on your time zone. So we're going to talk about that in more detail, but I just want to tell you right from the beginning that change is in the air. There's no way around it. New beginnings are in the air and new cycles and a new cycle of initiation is beginning for Aries placements. If you've been in a rut, been wanting to activate change, this is definitely a time where it's probably coming to you whether you want it or not. We also have a very distinctly different energetic through April 7th compared to the rest of April because we've got the energies of direct planets and no personal planet retrogrades. February, March, into the beginning of April, that has been telling us go, 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 do, and plus some early excess Aries energies starting in February even and going very strongly through March and April means we've got the Sun, Chiron, Jupiter, star goddesses Astrea, Vesta, and Eris, and Mercury all working in the sign of Aries. So this is a very powerful time where so much energy is present for you to change your life and so much focus is on you and what you're doing. One of the areas that is going to be very strongly highlighted for Aries is the area of health and wellness. So your physical body, your relationship to your physical body, healing of your physical body, and redoing your image and your style and your wardrobe possibly, and how you define yourself and how people know you is all in order. Plus you have birthday wishes. Happy birthday to those Aries who are going to have your birthdays in April. Birthdays are an amazing time when the universe is extra receptive to your desires, so you have to make sure to make your birthday wishes, write them down, and say them out loud, feeling them as if they've already come true to help your subconscious mind create that. If you don't have a sun in Aries and you instead have other Aries placements, like I have Aries rising, we can very strongly work with intentions at this time. Intentions are different than wishes. Intentions are active, what we're going to do to make our dreams come true. Wishes are what we're asking the universe to help us with. So there's a very different but, important difference there. And so if you have a placement other than your sun, you can still really focus on your intentions and what you want to do and what you want to bring and aspects of yourself that you want to bring forth, because the time for rebirth is now and it is in a big way. And we are just getting started with the changes that are going to come over the next couple of years. So our relationship to ourselves, our relationship with other people. Aries has its polarity, which is Libra, and Libra is all about partnerships, help from others, helping others. So this me, we profile, like I like to call it, is going to be super activated. We've already been working with me, we in the way of the Taurus and Scorpio eclipse cycle since the end of 2021. That's more of like a my stuff and our stuff kind of thing, and my stuff and your stuff and our stuff kind of thing. But we have all of that going on now because May 5th, we've got a 14-degree Scorpio lunar eclipse. That's the second to last in the eclipse cycle, which ends at the end of 2023. So for a couple of years almost, we've had some storylines going on with our stuff and other people's stuff and loans and credit and debt and relationships with other people, deep, intimate relationships, power, people in powerful positions, you in a powerful position, how people use their power. All of this has been showing up in a very big way, and it is hot again now. So we are really, back into the heat. And everything is really saying, wow, changes are coming. Now, the things to know that are different between February, March, and the beginning of April, and then April 7th and onward, is that February, March, and the beginning of April is a time for us to take a very active role in our destiny, making future plans, making big decisions, launches, any big events, anything that we are trying to plan. So there's the stuff that we are doing, and there's the stuff that the universe, the divine, so basically our plan versus the divine plan. And sometimes those sync up, right? And when they do, it's definitely a lot smoother. But when the things we're doing to take an active role in our destiny, which Aries is really good at, right? That's what we do. And with all this Aries support, we have extra motivation and inspiration and impetus to take action. We're going to shift into a time where we are supposed to see what shows up and let the universe show us how we're supposed to be directing our energy. Okay, so we'll have a little bit less say as April goes on in what we're supposed to be doing with our energy. So we're going to go from the active, like setting our boats afloat, sending the message in the bottle out to sea because the tides are going out through April 7th. And then we're just going to chill on the beach, see what comes to us and deal with it as it comes. Garbage comes, we clean it up. Sweet things come, we benefit from it, but we're going to kind of be watching what the tides, the astrological tides bring in for us and shift into more of that neutral space, kind of like when you're going through a car wash where lots of stuff is happening around you, but you're into the driver's seat, but you're not really doing anything and you're just kind of seeing what's going to happen and only able to change your perspective on things. So that's what's going to start changing. A lot of times, the eclipse changes are non-negotiable changes, meaning we don't have say in what happens. We just have say in how we're going to manage or handle the changes that are coming. And they are coming. All right, so so if you have to make plans for the future, do important things, launches through April 7th, you have that energy. Then for April and May, it's time to schedule yourself lightly. Like if you have to do family medical appointments, car stuff, accountant appointments, just everything that you have to get done where you would make an appointment with somebody or make a plan, you'll have better luck and less cancellations and less stress and drama taking care of those things by the first week in April. Then you will if you try to schedule a lot of stuff during April and May, because you will spend a lot of time rescheduling things, which will be annoying. It will waste your time. And it's not the best way to use the energy. So if you can schedule yourself pretty lightly during the last 3 weeks of April and all of May, then you will be very excited because not only will you have less drama and stuff to clean up, less things to call into question when the schedules, plans start to change from the retrograde, but you'll also be able to leave room for last minute magic, which is my favorite possible outcome of the retrograde energy, where things can come out of the blue. So both the eclipses and the retrograde can bring in surprise opportunities, often with a tilt from the past, although we may have some new things as we are starting a new cycle here. But the more space you have, the more you can take advantage of those things as they come up randomly. Okay, so let's talk about this eclipse a little more. So now through 2025, the Black Moon solar eclipse is going to be happening. You can think back to the end of 2013 and through early 2016, and then back to early 2004 through early 2006. And think about the types of me, we, yourself versus other people, types of changes that happen during those times, and you'll see similar themes that will be echoing out at this time. Some of the same people may be involved, completely different people may be involved. If some bad things happen then, don't worry, that doesn't necessarily mean that bad things will happen now. There was a unique planetary profile that was happening in those periods of time that are not happening at this time. But I'm simply referencing those so that you can look back and see you probably had some major goodbyes and major hellos in your relationship department and in what you were defining yourself as and what you were known as. It's so it just really kind of helps you to see how big the nature of the changes are that are starting now that will go over the next couple of years. How people come to know you, how you come to present yourself, how, you're defined, like maybe you become a parent and before that you weren't a parent. That's a pretty big change in definition, of what you're doing. Maybe you retire and you do your hobby business. And there are a million different ways. I remember between some of those cycles, I left my corporate job in that 2004 time frame, and so I've been all this time, was it like 18 years or whatever, 19 years away from corporate life. But that was like a very, very big me definition where I was like no longer a worker for a corporate company. I went out on my own and have only had my own business since then. And those types of changes, I remember in that period of time, I moved, left all of my friends, my family, my businesses that were in the state that I lived in, and I met whole new people and groups of people and had new experiences, and I had, some very significant relationships come in that time. And I think that you'll notice that those types of things are common. Big moves, big job changes, big personal changes and relationship changes are definitely happening now. We've got a little bit more time into May of Jupiter being in our sign. Jupiter's the great expander. We only get it in our sign once every 12 years. So this is, a time to really plant as many seeds as possible along the lines of what you would like for your future, because even if something isn't manifesting right now, any efforts you put over the next couple of months have more of a chance that they can pop up and grow over the next 12-year cycle. And that could be at the early part or the later part. But, Jupiter really likes to get its fingers in a lot of pudding pies. So as many things as you can do to diversify your efforts for your future happiness, you'll have more of a chance for those flowers to bloom beautifully over this next cycle. If you want to have even more information about how these eclipses might manifest, go to Annie Botticelli on my YouTube page, okay? Scroll down on the welcome page to my eclipse playlist and watch eclipses in Aries. That's the first thing you can do. You can also watch eclipses in Scorpio, since that is going to be happening next. All right, and it will be, even though we'll talk about that more in May, in the May report, but you will be feeling those changes, and so you can kind of get a leg up on understanding the possibilities by looking at those resources. Now, everyone in the Aries spectrum is going to get bumped by some Aries placement, or if not a bunch, at this time. But specifically for the eclipse, the very late degree friends, so like 24 degrees through 29 degrees, so that's going to be like April 16th, through April 21st, or 22nd or 23rd, whatever the last days there. Sorry, it looks like my recording cut out for a second. Just want to make sure you caught that last piece, that the very late degree friends will get more impact from the solar new moon, black moon eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees on April 19th or 20th. Now, besides all of these Aries placements, we also have movement in Taurus, which is highlighting your financial sector. That's your individual money, your self-sufficiency, your imprint on the earth, your things that you do with your hands, your garden, your purchase of important material items, and your just general financial wellness, your budget, your savings, your income. All of that is featuring focus right now because transiting North Node is still there. That's your area of highest expression this lifetime. So a lot of important keys are coming that way. Star goddess Juno is there. Uranus is still there, shaking things up, hopefully giving you some inventive new ideas of how you can make money. And that is something important to know, that for the long term, Aries people having ideas that seem outlandish might actually wind up being super successful, because futuristic thinking and things that come out of the blue, as far as ideas and businesses that you start or things you start doing to make money, Uranus can really make things, bring benefits for you because of the nature of itself. It's a little volatile and kind of can bring things out of the blue, but that's what's accentuating your second house right now. So the more you can go with that energy of randomness, go with that energy of surprise things and, just things that happen all of a sudden, the more you can capture the magic of the potentials in a long-term way. So if you have a crazy idea, or you have something futuristic, or you have something like cutting edge, those might be the ways that you might make the most money at this time. Also things involving community projects, local things, or internet-based things, internet communities, networking, things like that. All of that might be ways that you are making money. And Venus is there as well. So Venus is my grandma Marge, one of my Italian grandmothers, who would pop a meatball in my mouth, give me money, tell me how great I was, give me a big hug. And that's like Venus. Comfort, sustenance, So we've got that energy moving through the house that it rules, one of the houses it rules, which is the second house of Taurus. So all of that is happening now, and that's being accentuated for Aries people. We've got Mars finally out of Gemini. It was in Gemini from August of 2022 through March of 2023. It might have given you a lot of vacillation in plans or transport or education, and you might have been having a hard time making some decisions. Maybe you were experimenting or trying some things on. Might have gotten you a little distracted away from writing projects, or maybe it was a prolific time of writing. But in any case, it's moved along now, and the obsessive powers of Mars are being put to your home and family. So expect that in April into May, from the end of March into pretty much the end of May, you're going to be obsessively focused on preparing your house, repairing your house, focusing on your home and family and your inner world. And that's a really good use of the energy. Okay, so we talked about the April 7th open window closing. If you're really interested in aligning with the natural rhythms of the universe and you want to see my 2023 whole calendar for direct and retrograde energies and what is best to do when for the whole rest of the year, instead of waiting for each of my monthly reports to give you, little snippets about the near time, then go to AnnieBAstrology.com, Annie, the letter B, astrology.com. Sign up for my exclusive content portal, and then you can access that calendar for your planning purposes for the rest of the year. This is why I do this, is to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe. And the more you understand about the tides and how they're flowing and how you can sync up with them, the easier life is. And this is actual science. Just look at the Farmer's Almanac. A science is basically based on observation, and all of astrology is based on observation. Farmers who are in touch with the land and the seasons and the cycles recorded their impressions over time, and we have the Farmer's Almanac. So there are actually better times to plant certain types of plants, and there are better times to prepare soil, and there's better times to prune. And that's true with every aspect of our lives. So the more you understand that, the more you can have things be easy for you. All right, so I'm going to give you some more important dates to note that you can mark in your calendar. Some of them I've already given you, but I'm just going to go in order here to be organized, and then you can mark them down. If you're a person that enjoys having the dates and what the aspects are and how they may affect you all in one place, delivered 1 month early, then you will love my free email newsletter, which you can sign up for at AnnieHelpsYou.com. All right, so I'll give you a few dates here, but you can get the more complete list in my archives when you sign up for that newsletter. April 3rd, Mercury square Pluto. Some conflicts and ego struggles, or interesting or powerful transformational news at that time. Days around April 5th, fullness, completion, fruition, drama, coming to Libra. Relationships. That's going to be opposing your sign. So the closer you are to 16 degrees, the more you're going to get a direct impact from that. I'm at 17 degrees, so I'm knowing that I'm going to be seeing some big things there myself. So we'll give a 5-degree margin in either direction. Anyone with 11 degrees to 21 degrees, the closer to 16 degrees, the more of an impact from that full moon, for better or worse. And so that relates to birthdays like April 1st through April 11th, the closer to like the 5th or 6th, the more you'll really notice that. Now, like I said, everyone will have chances to be affected by it, but the more closely it ties into aspects in your chart, the more you'll notice that. April 7th, that's the switch over from being the driver's seat and then kind of switching over into the passenger seat. April 7th, that open window closes and we start to dive into retrograde. Once the end of May clears up Mercury retrograde, we are going to be starting pretty quickly a Venus retrograde pre-shadow period and a Venus retrograde cycle, which is a whole other situation. So we definitely have a lot of retrograde energy ahead of us. So make the most of this open window. April 11th, we've got the Sun and Jupiter conjunct. While yes, the Sun's amplification powers can make ruckuses that Jupiter causes more intense, and that could happen, especially because this is in our sign of Aries, it can also bring great benevolence and great luck, right? So everyone has some extra emphasis on this time frame. It's a very powerful time to do anything. It's also a time where it could be extra lucky. And the closer you are to 21 degrees, the more you'll get impact from that. So we'll say 16 degrees through 26 degrees, and the closer to 21 degrees, the more you get a direct hit from that aspect. So that's like April 6th through April 16th, the closer to around April 11th, give or take some days either way, the more you're directly affected there. April 19th or 20th is that black moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries. And again, those of you towards the end of the sign will feel that the most, but it's definitely opening up a cycle for every single person with Aries placements. April 21st, Mercury retrograde through May 15th, post-shadow period going through May 30th. April 27th, we've got Mars in Cancer square Chiron in Aries, a little bump from family members or a housing situation that makes you doubt some things about yourself, little self-esteem dip there. Hopefully will be smoothed out by the nice aspect that Mars in Cancer has on the 29th of April. Sweet surprises with Uranus. So either something can get smoothed over from the conflict or something else can come out of the blue that can bring great joy in your finances or with your home or family. Overall, hands down, one of the most powerful times of the whole year for Aries. This is really a time about you and getting clarity and getting things situated. The heat is definitely on. The motivation is definitely there. The impetus is definitely there. And positive change is on its way if you haven't already seen it activated. A lot of reckless and impulsive energy can also be there. So do look out for that because, we can tend to be a little bit wild, right? Like a bull in a china shop, and that energy is going to be amplified. So you might have to exercise or do some other things to keep your tensions low because there could be some aggression and some other things that come up. But overall, like I said, just a time for major empowerment. If you love how I teach and you want to learn, you will love my courses. Go to lumelife.com, Lume, life.com. Start with my Astrology Basics course or get that course for free by joining my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, where I can take you from ground zero to earning money as an astrologer. Or if you've already been studying, I can help you weave together your learning into giving effective readings every time and having the confidence to charge for your craft. So you can see that at beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I also have some free courses at my school, one for helping to change your money consciousness. And there is a lot of emphasis on your financial world here at this time. So that could be extra beneficial. So you can see all these links in the notes underneath the video in the podcast. I hope you have a wonderful month and I'll see you next month.